next guest best as everyone's favourite uncle from Gavin and Stacey, but Rob Brydon is using his Welsh charm to win over some of the biggest names in showbiz.
He joins us today as he launches his brand new podcast. Morning, Rob.
Rob.
How you doing?
Hello, how are you?
Oh, I'm all right, not too bad. It's so good to see you. Now, the last time we actually saw you, we were talking about the fact that you were doing this as a YouTube show. Now you've made it a podcast. What's different?
It's longer is the main thing. We started it as this YouTube channel, about 15-minute long interviews, quite snappily edited. And one of the big comments we were getting, you shouldn't read the comments, but occasionally I would have a look. And the thing that they kept saying was, I wish they were longer, you know. But I didn't want the InVision ones to be longer because I quite liked the snappiness.
Yeah.
But then Spotify came along and said they'd like to do longer audio versions. So that's what we've done. And we've got this sort of 50 minutes long, the longer versions of the interview. And they launch next Thursday, the 8th. And they're rather good, I think.
Yeah, well, you got some great guests. I mean, you're a lovely conversationalist, Rob. It's nice to sit down and have a chat with you. David Walliams, Sheridan Smith. Do you like interviewing from home? I mean, is this kind of, does this almost, there's no different dynamic of going to a studio and all the kind of rigmarole that goes along with making television. You can do this from your own home. Do you like that? Yeah,
I think it makes a difference. I'm more relaxed. I do it from this room, which is the top of my house. This is my little office. And invariably, the people I speak to are in their home as well. And it just makes you more relaxed. I noticed it with the YouTube version that I was coming out with little facial expressions and physical things that I would never really do in a studio because you're slightly, your guard is slightly up. You're in a different environment. So I do think you get something very different and a little more intimate with these interviews.
And just out of interest, do you do it over Zoom? So can you see your guest or can you not see them at all? Can you just hear them?
No, I can see them. We started off using Zoom. Now we've used a platform called Riverside FM because the technology is just improving all the time. It's quite something. I feel like I'm working for NASA.
OK, Rob, dream guest, who would it be?
Well, now, this is the thing. This is somebody that you have interviewed a few times, Dermot. Bruce Springsteen. He would be, he's the love of my life. And you've done some very nice interviews, if I may be allowed to flatter you. I thought you did some lovely interviews with him, got some good stuff. Failing that, I'd settle for Bruce Grobbelaar. I mean, anybody called Bruce would be good enough for me.
Just someone called Bruce.
Yeah.
Dermot mentioned earlier some of the people that you've interviewed on this podcast. Who's been your favourite so far?
Oh, well, for the podcast, we've done a whole bunch of them that haven't come out yet. So like an old friend like David Walliams, David's always got so much to say. Sheridan Smith, who is one of the most talented people I've ever known or ever worked with. She's on it. Within the bank of ones that now exist on YouTube, I did Will Ferrell. I did a film with him and we became friends. So that was a thrill because I think he's one of the funniest people in the world, really. And because of this relaxed environment and the longer form on Spotify where they're 50 minutes long, you get a chance, people get a chance to talk at some length. And it's a lovely way, you know. I mean, I have podcasts that I love. I like Alec Baldwin's. He's got one in the States called Here's the Thing. Jules Holland does a great one over here. I mean, I do think if you are a middle-aged man in the media in Britain and you don't have a podcast, questions are raised.
It is the law, absolutely. You know, lockdown's going to ease. We're starting to get out and about. I know you had to sort of curtail your tour a little bit. Will you be going back and finishing that?
Yeah, that's the plan. I'd gone on tour with a band, a 9-piece band, doing an evening of sort of funny stories and songs called A Night of Songs and Laughter. Details at robbrydon.live. And we were doing that about a year ago. We stopped almost a year ago to the day. And the plan is that we go back out this autumn and next spring. And I was loving it because it was new. You know, I'd always had music in my live shows, but never with a big, proper band. And seeing the reaction, you know, from the audiences was fantastic. So I, like every performer, just can't wait to get back out there.
Oh,
Rob, I've heard you sing. You've got a lovely voice. What do you love to sing? What are the songs that you, when you're in the slipstream...
Yeah, give us a song now.
I could sing about Dermot sitting there with Alison. Look at them as pretty as a pie. Dermot, Dermot. I mean, something like that. That's one of my favourite songs.
I feel like you favoured Dermot a bit too much there.
I like the Dermot song.
Alison, I know Dermot a bit. I'm still a bit in awe of you.
Oh, thank you. I'm in awe of you too. I'm also in awe of your impressions. So are we going to see a little bit of your impressions on the podcast, just out of interest?
Well, do you know what? They don't tend to come up, but some of them, I mean, something like, here we go, here he goes. Did he do his Ronnie Corbett? I mean, I was so fond of Ronnie. But you can't win with that. I always find if I do it, you get people who go, oh, that's great, he did Ronnie Corbett. Or they'll, and if you don't do it, they'll say, oh, he didn't do it. But it can be the other way around. You know, it can be, oh, he didn't do that again, did he? But it's quite hard to resist.
Rob, I'm looking forward to the listen. You're always a great conversationalist, and I'm really looking forward to it. Brydon and launches on Spotify next week from Thursday, the 8th of April. Thanks for joining us, Rob. Lovely to see you.
Thanks, Alison. It's been really nice spending time with you, Alison, and talking to you.
Thank you.
It's great to meet your uncle as well.